Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be showing you my brow routine. So I have become, COVID made it especially, but I have become quite the DIY queen, especially for beauty stuff, because a lot of times I'd go get a service performed and pay for it and then just be like, I'm so unhappy with this, like I could do better myself. So I started doing everything by myself. So this video is going to be showing you how I tint and wax my brows at home. And I just want to give you guys a few tips leading into this because when you're waxing, there's a lot that goes into it that people don't think about, and they just jump into it and then they have disasters. So I just want to kind of give you some tips first so that way you can go into this as prepared as possible. So first off, this may not be for everyone, okay? Some people have skin sensitivities that, you know, you shouldn't be using products from Amazon. You should be using professional grade products. So just keep that in mind, that if you are someone who's really sensitive, you may want to be doing some test areas before you fully commit to this. And that goes for the dye and the wax, okay? So there's so many options for both out there. I get my hair dye just from the store and I get my wax from Amazon. So both very affordable options, but sometimes it takes a little bit of tweaking to find what works best for you, whether it be a shade match or a wax that, you know, grabs all your hairs, doesn't irritate your skin, and is just easy to work with. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're searching for products about how your skin will react to it. Some tips for when to do this. So you are not going to want to do this before a big event, okay? So say like you're going to someone's wedding as like a guest. You may want to do it like 3 or 4 days in advance, just so that way the dye has a little bit of time to fade and any redness from the waxing is completely gone. Now, if you want to do this like right before your own wedding, don't. So definitely don't do it for the first time before your own wedding. If you have been doing it a few times leading up to your wedding, I would say maybe do it a week in advance before your wedding. So that makes sure that you have enough time for the dye to fade off your skin, if you color outside the lines a little bit, and you know, if you had any waxing mishaps, it gives it a little bit of time to heal, okay? So with that, you want to make sure that you are not using any harsh products leading up to a wax or even a tint, and for a couple days after. So retinols, AHAs, BHAs, any peel, any physical exfoliant like a scrub, you'll want to make sure that you're not using those at least 2 days in advance, and maybe even those harsher products a week in advance. You'll want to stop using them, at least in the area you're going to be working in. Like you could still put your retinol here, top of your forehead, but don't be putting it right here, because if you are doing that, that makes your skin a lot more sensitive, and there's a higher likelihood that you will rip layers of skin off when you do that. So same goes for the sun. So make sure you're not getting a bunch of sun exposure prior to a wax, you know, a few days before. Definitely never wax over a burn. That's a terrible idea. And then just make sure that you're not being in direct daylight for a couple hours or a couple days after a wax as well. So that's just gonna give your skin time to fully heal because you have fresh skin exposed. And so you're more susceptible to a burn. Now, if you are someone who goes with the fake sun approach, like tanning lotions or mousses and stuff, you will want to make sure to not be using that for a couple of days before and again a couple days after, because if you do it right after, freshly waxed skin has a weird way of hanging on to product. So it will either completely stick to it, making the area much darker, or it will completely not stick to it. It's kind of weird how that works, but it just doesn't like fresh skin. So don't plan to put any like sunless tanning products around that area for a couple of days. Otherwise you're gonna look really splotchy. And that just applies for like all body waxing as well, not just facial waxing. So that's another thing, like if you have an event, you may want to do it like a week in advance because you're probably gonna go get like a spray tan like 2 days in advance. So it just gives everything time to just heal and look the best that it can possibly look. But I think that that is all my tips that I had for you guys at this point. But if you have any questions at all about the process, you know, just let me know in the comment section below and I will do my best to answer them for you. So let's go ahead and jump into the tutorial portion of this video because really that's what you came for, but don't forget the tips because they are very important. I apologize, this bathroom has terrible lighting, so I'm doing what I can, okay? We're gonna wanna start with a clean face, but I'm gonna show you what I'm using to tint my eyebrows. So this is the Revlon Color Silk hair color, and this is in the shade medium brown. Sorry, I have like a baby ring light on there. Medium brown, number 41. Medium ash brown is my preferred color, but it's super hard to find. This is a little warm, but it's not too warm. So I'm going to start by removing all of my makeup. It's just easier to take it all off. So I'm gonna go in with my Kirkland Daily Facial Towelettes, get in there and really make sure to get in there on those brows. Get in there, work it out, and get this face clean. So I had already turned on my wax, so you can use whatever wax you want. If you want to use strips, if you want to use the heat with your hand stuff, which I don't think works very well, heat with a hair dryer, you can do all that. I prefer hard wax. I find that it's just easier to work with, and I have a preference for it over strips. I did do strips for a while, but I just like the hard wax. And the nice thing is all you have to buy is sticks and wax it. You don't have to buy strips or anything. So it's really nice. So I turn my wax on a couple hours before, and then I will turn it down a little bit. So I turn it on full blast to get it all melted, and then I turn it down a little bit because this area is much more sensitive than other parts of your body. And so you want to make sure to turn that down so you're not using super hot wax on your sensitive face, especially on this eyelid skin, because that is thinner skin. So you want to be very gentle with that. So I'm gonna wash my face, and we're gonna mix up the solution and put it on together. My face is nice and clean. I'm going to take a headband. This is more for the wax portion of the video, but we are going to wrap this hair up because I do have blonde hair and my brows will be brown. So we definitely don't want to mix those two. So if you don't want to use a box dye, so I actually use that because it's cheap. It's like $4 for a box. So unfortunately you can't keep any of the product, but at $4 a box, it's not bad. If you want to be less wasteful, you can buy dye brow kits on Amazon, or you can buy just for men the beard. Sorry, my cats are fighting. The beard tint, and you can mix up a little bit from that. I personally just don't like those shades. Otherwise, I'd probably do that. So it comes with your conditioning type stuff and then your developer. So you mix your developer. So you're just gonna follow the instructions that come on the box. And you're gonna mix this up and shake that all up. I'm gonna grab a paper towel here quick, because when you mix this up in like a shaker style bottle, some of that like conditioning cream is going to be in the front of the nozzle without any color in it. So we want to make sure that we're only getting colored product. So we're going to shake this all up, and then I just take a paper towel and I just squeeze a little bit out till I can see that it's the dye mixture. See my brows before. So my preferred applicator is a spoolie. I just buy disposable ones off Amazon. This one is not disposable because my drawer is jammed, so I can't get to my disposable ones. So I'm just gonna put a little bit on the spoolie here. And we're just gonna, I'm gonna look in the mirror instead of the camera. And for this, you only want to color slightly out of the lines, because typically we're going to be dyeing our hair darker than what our skin tone is, no matter what your skin tone may be. You're probably going to be dyeing your brows darker. So if you think about it, when that tint starts to change, it's going to change also on your skin. And since this is semi-permanent dye, it will sit on your skin for a little while. Now, waxing afterwards is going to help lift that color quite a bit. Like, that was terrible. We just got that everywhere. Waxing after is going to help lift that color a little bit. And then just applying makeup will help disguise it as well. But after like 2 days, it'll be completely off your skin and just on the hairs. So you want to make sure that you go in different directions. You're getting it on every single hair. Some people like to trim their hair before they do this. Some do it after. It's just whatever your preference is. I don't feel strongly either way. I've done both. So, okay. So I'm gonna let this process. Usually I will leave it on for 5 minutes, come back, see if I missed any spots. And then if I need to, add a little bit more. But before I start those 5 minutes, I'll take like a Q-tip, or you can use like a paper towel or whatever, and just kind of clean this up just a little bit. Especially on the tail there. Okay, so Leo wants you all to know that even though we're not sitting filming, he is here. Right in the thick of it. So, start the timer. 5 minutes has passed. As you can see, we're looking good. Looks like everything is covered quite well. So I just restarted my timers for another 5 minutes. And now I'm gonna go in and clean up with a Q-tip a little bit more because I don't want my brows quite this big. So we're just gonna make them a little more shapely and a little bit smaller. So now that you can really see where the color is, this is a good time to do this. You can see I got a little sloppy over here, so we're gonna clean that up a bit too. The brows have finished processing. It's been 10 minutes. So I'm just gonna take a paper towel, wipe off this color. And then I just go in with another paper towel, get it wet, and go in again. I'm not gonna scrub super hard because I am going to be going in with wax like right away basically. So we don't wanna irritate them any more than we need to. But just make sure to get all the color off of them. So as you can see, quite darker than what we started with. So it worked. In that 10 minutes, I also washed off my spoolie. You can use one of those disposable spoolies several times. Just make sure to rinse it out with some soap and water right after, and it will last you a while. So definitely don't need to like go do one every single time because that's just wasteful and a waste of money. So I am going to get my wax set up, but before I do that, I just want to show you guys a couple of the different wax applicators that I use, because when I'm waxing, it may be kind of hard to talk through that a little bit. So I have a couple different ones. I just get all mine from Amazon. So I get the big, like doctor's office tongue depressor ones from Amazon, and I use these to like stir the wax, but I don't use these for any eyebrow waxing. I use these for body waxing, okay? So just to stir. And then I have these, which are kind of like the orange sticks, like the cuticle pusher backers for your nails. It's double-sided. Usually what I will do is break it in half and then just dip it and then use another one to dip again. So this kind of helps you get in there nice and close. Get a good precision application, okay? The other ones that I have that I really like are these guys. So they're teeny tiny here, and then it has a rounded edge on one side, and then it has a pointed edge on the other side. So these are really good for underneath in particular. So usually what I'll do, use these, go around the top, and then I'll do this again and do like right here and below. And then I'll go in with these and do another thin strip nice and close. And then this guy is really good for getting in the arch there. So get all of them on Amazon, and you could get like 500 for like $5. So it'll last you a long, long time, okay? I literally have this box that these big ones came in, and I just keep it and refill it with like different applicators. Oops. I'm gonna pick those up and be back to wax. So real quick for wax, I use my very well loved Lonsley wax pot. And then I use the Life Stance hard wax beans, okay? Right now, all I have is blue. My favorite for brows is purple, pink, or white. So those I find are just better for like finer hair, whereas the darker colors, so the lighter colors are better for finer hair, the darker colors are better for coarser hair. So more like body hair type stuff, but it'll get the job done. We'll get through this time, okay? All right, so just stirring my wax one last time. It's nice and waxy. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do is take a spoolie and brush my hair all one direction. You can start on either side. So you can start on top or bottom. So we're just gonna make sure all the hair is out of the way as much as possible, I guess. And then I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna try to stay in focus here, but I have to use the mirror, okay? And I go above the brow at first, and then I get closer. You can always take more off, but you can't put it back. This is a really good first lesson for your first time waxing. Start further out, work your way in, okay? So this usually just takes a few seconds to dry. Let that get hard. And then we'll just rip it off. You can see tiny little hairs on there. Now I forgot to grab the waste basket. So grab that. Okay. And then I'm gonna take one of these, get a little bit closer in, and not put so much wax on there this time. Okay, we got the top done. Looks good. We're gonna do it in the middle now. Or make sure we don't have a unibrow, which my hair is so blonde anyway that it wouldn't even look like a unibrow. But make sure we don't have one. And this right here gives you the opportunity to shape the front of your brows as well. So if you want them more rounded, you can round right here, round in the front, or round on the top, round on the bottom. If you want them more square, if you want them angled, you can do all that right now. I keep mine pretty square. The hair just kind of does what it wants to do anyway, even though I use a brow gel, but I keep mine fairly square with a slight slant outward. Feel like that's what looks best for me. So we'll remove this. And then I already combed my hairs up. So we're gonna go ahead and do the underside. And like I said, I'm gonna do like a lower strip and then probably a couple upper strips here as well. And sometimes those can burn a little bit, so if you need to just like rip a little or break it into like 2 strips, it's fine. Might make your eyes water a little bit. I feel like I just got like a string in my eyelashes there, so that was not fun. Okay, then I'm gonna go in with one of these, the rounded edge and pointy edge, and get in there a little bit closer. And this, sometimes I do it in 1 strip, sometimes I do it in a couple. Just kind of depends on how hairy I am usually. Okay, I had to get really close to the mirror for this one because it's bad lighting and I just have to see what I'm doing for that arch. Okay, and the baby is kicking me a whole bunch right now, so I'm like, okay, I really gotta focus getting close there. So, got that on, take these off. All right, that was good. Good. So, I am, at this point, satisfied with the waxing process. So usually what I do is I'll just kind of like go to bed with them like this. The next day I'll trim them and then just kind of like inspect them a little bit closer, see if any hairs need to just like be plucked or anything. But the shape looks really good. And by then I'll be able to like wash them a little bit, scrub them a little bit. Not like scrub, but like with my fingers and a gentle cleanser scrub. And get like a little bit of that off the skin, especially on the tails. That's where I like maintain most of my skin pigmentation there from the dye. But so we'll check them tomorrow morning and I'll show you what they look like. And usually I do this once a month. So check back in the morning. Here are the brows the next day. I just got out of the shower. I worked out this morning and they're looking pretty good. I did pluck a few stray hairs on the underside. I'm gonna put some makeup on and show you what they look like in like normal day lighting. It is super cloudy, so it's not gonna be great lighting, but so you can get an idea of what they will actually look like on like a day-to-day basis. But they look good. So the sun just came out, so this is perfect timing. I don't have like full glam, but I do have makeup all over my face. You can see how they look. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.